Before we get started, sorry about that. Before we get started this evening, I would like to review some general housekeeping items for all attendees. Participants are encouraged to use the chat function to ask questions at any time. Participants can also unmute their lines to ask questions, but are asked to please keep all lines muted when not in use. This meeting will be recorded and available at www.lecu.ca. And for technical support this evening, please call the Zoom Help Center at 1-888-799-9666. During tonight's meeting, there will be 2 polls launched for attendees. You will be prompted to vote on the following items. Number 1, establishment of quorum, and 2, the adoption of the agenda. If you wish to move or second a motion, you may do so using the chat function. I will now pass things over to the chair of our board, Dan Sheaves, to call the meeting to order.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the special meeting of the Leading Edge Credit Union. This meeting has been called in accordance with Section 57 and 116 of the Credit Union Act to consider a special resolution approved by the board. Unlike an in-person meeting, the voting on this proposed resolution will open at 7 p.m. and run until 3 p.m. Newfoundland Daylight Time on Friday, June 18th. Voting results will be declared on Friday, June 18th by the end of business day. I will begin our meeting with the land acknowledgement statement. Today, we meet virtually from many communities throughout Newfoundland and Labrador. Our members from the island are joining from the ancestral homelands of the Mi'kmaq and Beothuk peoples, and our participants from Labrador are from the lands of the original peoples of Labrador, the Innu and the Inuit. We offer our respects to all our Indigenous cultures and recognize their continued connections to the land. The next item is proof of call and establishment quorum. The Credit Union Act requires that a notice of meeting of members shall be given not less than 14 days and not more than 30 days before the meeting, and was posted on May 18th, 2021, well within the required time frame. I will now invite Charlotte Taylor to confirm we have established the required quorum.
In order to establish quorum, I ask that all attendees use the following poll to indicate their member status as shareholder, member non-shareholder, or non-member. Thank you for voting in the poll. Of the 21 people in attendance, 17 are shareholders. We have established quorum.
Thank you, Charlotte. Pursuant to Section 8.06 of our bylaws, the meeting is duly constituted. On your screens, you should see an agenda. You should see the agenda items for our meeting. Are there any additions or omissions to note concerning the agenda? Hearing none, I will motion to adopt the agenda of June 14th, 2021. Can I have a mover and seconder, please? And please use the voting app to indicate your motion or a motion and seconder.
We need a mover. Janet moved it. Janet Willis and Gary O'Brien seconded.
Thank you, Janet and Gary. Is there any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, please vote. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, hearing.
I'm sorry. Okay. Hearing none, please vote on this motion. Thank you, everyone. The motion is carried. Our next agenda item is introduction of the board members. Our board of directors is as follows: myself as chair of the board, Tony Neiman, vice chair, Edwina Bateman, corporate secretary, Janet Willis, Jeff Patry, Barry Sims, Brian Button, Gary O'Brien, our past chair, and Bruce Burton. Thank you, everyone, for attending tonight. Our next agenda item is the appointment of parliamentarian and scrutineer. Brenda Roberts Harmon, VP of Corporate Services and Chief Risk Officer at Atlantic Central, will be our parliamentarian. And Byron Smith, CPA-CA, he is our internal and external auditor, will be our chief scrutineer overseeing the voting process that will follow this meeting. Our CEO, Corey Munden, will now comment on the scope of this process. Corey.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For many of you attending this meeting, this might be something new that you have not witnessed in the past. But again, because we have a voting process that will take place throughout the week in calling for a very important vote on the merger of two credit unions, we've decided to include our internal external auditor, Byron Smith, as a scrutineer. The scope of his work will be as follows. He will acknowledge the voters list uploaded meets the eligibility requirements. He will validate the security of the software utilized and test the software functionality. And he will confirm enough votes have been established to meet the quorum requirements. He'll confirm the final vote results and establish if the merger is approved, meeting the requirement of 2/3 of votes cast. And as of the closing of the voting date, deliver the final report on the vote results to the chair and board. Mr. Byron Smith is in attendance, and thank you very much for joining us, Byron, to start the exercise of the scrutineer role. Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Corey. I'll now pass it back to you to provide a brief presentation.
So good evening, everyone. I first want to acknowledge that this is a brief presentation. It's a synopsis of the merger content, which is on our website, bettervalueforall.ca. We are really pleased with the work of our operational team and our consultants of Atlantic Central in building the website to capture all of the prudent data. I'm sure that you took the time to become familiar with this information. So I do apologize in advance if any of the information is repetitive from the website. I should acknowledge that our website has been viewed over 3,000 times in the last month. So I'll carry on with a very brief presentation on some of the prudent information that I think is warrants for this meeting. So let me just first of all say that the Atlantic merger scene is what I would describe as red hot. It's something we haven't witnessed in quite some time. But there are 9 credit unions currently now officially have announced their merger plans, and there are rumors of more considering this option. As more credit unions are repositioning themselves, similar to us, to meet all the external challenges and opportunities that merging with other credit unions bring. Scale, when we speak of scale, we talk about resources in the credit union world, and resources are needed to manage growing legislative demands, such as enhanced cybersecurity measures. I do recall in Leading Edge Credit Union, the formation of Leading Edge Credit Union, the previous merger with Brook Street and Conroy Valley, just after 9/11, we had seen extensive legislative requirements around FinTrack, anti-money laundering, and we needed resources for to fill those particular needs. No differently now are we seeing with cybersecurity and other different legislative requirements that we'll need specific resources to attend to. Without the necessary resources, it will be difficult to continue to meet member and legislative demands of the future. So how did we get here? Again, this information was captured on our website, but just to kind of bring everybody up to speed on the process, in November 2018, our regulator for the province led a meeting on the value of mergers in St. John's. I recall all of our board members, most of our board members were in attendance to that one. And in March 2019, Leading Edge Credit Union and Eagle River Credit Union boards got together to discuss what a potential merger could look like. Then in June 2019, we consulted with Atlantic Central, which is our trade association for credit unions in Atlantic Canada, to facilitate merger discussions at the request of both boards. Then in March 2020, Leading Edge Credit Union and Eagle River Credit Union decided to sign a memorandum of understanding, beginning a formal discovery and planning process. So March 2020 to 2021, a full year, a robust disclosure process and business plan construction pursued. Then in March 16th, 2021, Leading Edge Credit Union and Eagle River Credit Union boards both voted unanimously in favor to recommend the merger to members after review of the business plan content. I think it's important that we recognize some of the guiding principles that our board had put in place to kind of set the strategic direction of what the business plan should accomplish. Both boards established guiding principles in which to guide the operational team and merger consultants in the construction of the business plan. And they first wanted to ensure that our members were fully informed of the merger process and any potential changes that they may experience. And they wanted to have a plan that would provide minimal disruption to members during and after the merger. It was critically important that our members continue to see value in this merger, which is why they wanted the merger to ensure that members do not pay more as a result of the merger. So they really wanted the new credit union to emerge as an extremely competitive institution. One of our strengths is our local autonomy. It is very important that our local branches continue to integrate themselves within the community and provide exceptional local member service. It was critically important that we not lose sight of that with this particular merger initiative. And of course, our employees are the backbone of our credit union. It is critically important that we retain and also attract people to our organization that will continue to support our vision and mission. So working within these guiding principles, a business plan was constructed. The goals for the new entity represented here on the slide were very interesting because it was similar to both goals for both institutions, is what we shared as independent organizations. And the first one is to grow membership. So we believe that we have the best banking option for our members. So strategically, it makes sense to want to have more people experience the credit union advantage. We want to also become the primary financial institution of choice for our membership. And when you ask our membership, who is their primary financial institution? The answer is normally where you hold your bank account. So we want to encourage more members to do more banking with us. And this has to continue to be a strategic goal. It was a strategic goal for both entities. Investing in the community. I don't think anyone on this call can comment negatively about the impact that we have as Leading Edge Credit Union on our community. And similarly, Eagle River Credit Union has a very robust community impact plan. We wanted to ensure that we leveraged one another's strengths and strategies so that we can even create a bigger impact to the communities in which we operate. And of course, to do all of this good stuff and good work, we need to ensure that we are financially sustainable. We need that sustainable, profitable position in order to reinvest back into our community, reinvest into our people, invest in technology, and invest in the items that our members see value. So what is in it for our members? And as you can see by the graphic on your screen, we're looking at greater access, 11 branches, all throughout the coastline and into Labrador region. We want to ensure that you'll receive the same great service. And as you heard me say, local decision-making maintained. We will have more resources to invest in current and future products and services, such as technology, And, as we all have experienced, especially during the pandemic, the reliance on technology and new solutions has grown considerably. We have lots of data here to support how people have transitioned to using technology to fulfill their banking requirements. And as such, we need to continue to grow in that space. And we need to be able to provide our members with the best value now and in the future. And that is accomplished through economies of scale, balance sheet restructuring, and the ability to withstand economic challenges. I should say that both credit unions are very strong financially currently, and the new entity will emerge even that much stronger. Investments in ease of doing business, as you heard me say, having resources to deliver on the changing needs of members. I suspect we will be hiring more people in this particular area to ensure that we deliver on the future services that our members desire and continue to desire. And again, we cannot neglect and forget our community, which is the foundation of why we operate in the first place. And we need to continue to enhance community programs where more resources are needed and a stronger focus on what communities need. The range of business, this graphic really captures, I think, nicely and conveniently some of the things I've already mentioned, but it just showcases some key areas of where these benefits will trickle down into respective stakeholders. And from an efficiency perspective, we'll have a larger scale operation, which will improve operating efficiency. There are many duplications that are done with two individual credit unions, and coming together as one entity will certainly improve on that efficiency scale. Financially, consolidate and diverse balance sheets will in turn give us more financial sustainability. Interesting enough, Leading Edge Credit Union has had a history of member lending, a strong member lending portfolio. Our lending continues to grow annually every year. Eagle River Credit Union also grows in its lending area, but in its investment area, it grows even more. And they have a tough time lending out the money. Just a simple combination of both credit unions will create a wonderful diverse balance sheet that will certainly pay dividends not only to the credit union but to its membership as well. And talent, we'll be able to share critical talent. Interesting in going through the exercise is that we both recognize the skill sets that we individually have in our teams, and we'll be able to share that more effectively. I should acknowledge that for some people who are not aware, that Eagle River Credit Union and Leading Edge Credit Union currently share 3 personnel jointly now. And of course, merging will allow us to fulfill all of this sharing of talent throughout the organization. There will also be lots of new opportunities for staff as we continue to grow and provide additional products and services to our membership. And we'll also have a stronger, attractive HR package, which will help us retain and attract people. Our talent, the war for talent is alive and well in Canada, and we need to ensure that we have the right organization that people are looking to stay gainfully employed with. And professional development. Our membership of Leading Edge Credit Union, every year I've reported in my annual meeting the amount of time and resources and investment that our staff that are put into the professional development of our staff. And this will continue into the new entity, and we'll be able to do more of it and also leverage mentorship programs and all other types of initiatives because of the number of staff we'll have. And member value. Members will see enhanced products, services, and rates. As you heard me say, our intention is certainly to keep our a strong member value and ensure that our members do not pay more for products or services and moving forward. And we'll also increase staff expertise to provide greater service. We piloted things like selling of life insurance in our branches. These are types of services that can be expanded. Eagle River Credit Union don't currently provide income tax services in their branches. This will be cascaded throughout all 11 branches. Growth, and this will improve our competitive position, attract new members, and increase investment in future growth. And sustainability. We certainly want to enhance the strong position of our credit union in the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. Currently, as two separate entities, we are considered very strong credit unions, and this will again enhance our presence within the system. So what will we look like? We will have the merged credit union will have 17,000 members, assets of in excess of 320 million. That's on book. I should advise that we also have a mortgage portfolio at our mortgage center. We also have a mutual funds portfolio at our wealth management company, which just exceeded another $50 million. And we'll have 80 plus employees, and we'll have 11 branches. So, Mr. Chair, I'll pause there with the presentation. As I mentioned, this information was took off our Better Value for All website, and if anyone wants to check that out to become more familiar with the business case and rationale for the merger, they certainly can. But I'll also entertain any questions in the chat feature at this time, and if necessary, we can open up the call.
Thanks, Corey. We'll pause for a few minutes or a minute or so and see if there are any questions. Thanks, everyone. The next item on our agenda is the special resolution. Please be patient while I read it. Whereas the members of Leading Edge Credit Union Limited approve of its Board of Directors' recommendation for the credit union to amalgamate with Eagle River Credit Union Limited in accordance with the Credit Union Act. And whereas approval of the recommendation for amalgamation must be passed by the members by way of a special resolution as defined by the Act. Be it resolved that the credit union be amalgamated with Eagle River Credit Union Limited in accordance with the amalgamation agreement and charter bylaws as presented at the special meeting of members duly called for that purpose. And further, be it resolved that the board be and is hereby authorized to do all things necessary or desirable to effect the amalgamation of the credit union pursuant to the provisions of the Act, including but not limited to complete any actions or undertakings within its jurisdiction and authority, including execution of any documents reasonably necessary for upholding its duties and responsibilities to the credit union, and to give effect of the proposed amalgamation, and oversee the proper execution of communication plans through the process, which includes effective delivery of information and documents in a timely manner, and make such incidental changes to the amalgamation agreement, articles of amalgamation, and or the charter bylaws as may be needed to ensure the approval of the superintendent of credit unions prior to the proposed effective amalgamation date of January 1st, 2022. For the motion on the special resolution, we will request a mover and a seconder before moving to discussion on the resolution, but will not call for a question at the end of discussion. Instead, voting on the special resolution will be conducted electronically and open for a period of 5 days following this meeting, starting at 7 p.m. today, closing on Friday, June 18th at 3 p.m. Newfoundland Daylight Time. As a resolution, a 2/3 majority is required for the motion to pass. I will now call for a motion. Are you in favor of the special resolution as presented?
Gary O'Brien moved. And Janet Willis seconded.
Thank you, Gary and Janet. Are there any questions or clarifications you may require on the special resolution? You can use the chat function if you want to ask your questions. Thank you. Hearing no questions or receiving no questions, I guess. I will now pass things back to Corey to discuss the next steps in the voting process.
Oh, Melissa Sams has
Oh,
a
sorry.
question. What will this merger mean for member control?
Thank you, Melissa, for the excellent question. As you may be aware, the credit unions operate under a co-op model, and they operate under 7 cooperative principles. And regardless of the outcome of the motion, each credit union is still required to operate under the 7 cooperative principles. And member democratic control is one of the principles, so nothing will be changed as a result of the merger. The all requirements for member democratic control will remain in effect. I think that's probably the simplest way I could put it. There'll be absolutely no change in that process.
I'll wait a few more minutes because some people don't type as fast as some others, so I'll wait to see if there are any other questions.
We have a question from, I'm not sure who that is.
I believe it might be Gary O'Brien.
O'Brien. It says, do you announce the interim board? Would the interim board will be recognized if the merger vote is successful? I can advise, but as to the business plan, the actually in the business plan and the articles, there is a list of the interim board. So there are 6 representatives from the Eagle River Credit Union, and there are 6 representatives from the Leading Edge Credit Union.
And they've been identified as the interim board,
Yes, inaugural
who
board.
will continue for a year, I think, after
Yes,
the nomination is effective, assuming it goes ahead, yes.
your Leading Edge Credit Union board will continue until the end of the year also.
I can't see any chats here, so there.
Yeah, it pops up if it does.
Okay, recognizing that there are no further chats in the chat box. Back to Melissa Sam's question, who can vote? And this is the beauty of the cooperative model, exercising your democratic right. So all members of the credit union in good standing, age 19 or older, can vote. Eligible members are entitled to 1 vote only. No member can vote more than once. And we have the electronic software that will ensure that does not happen. Where membership is held jointly by 2 or more persons, the membership is entitled to only 1 vote. And a business, corporation, or organization may vote, though, through an appointed representative if required. And if they have not already voted as an individual member. So very important. Do you note that? Now, how can you vote? So we'll be voting online using a secure voting platform. For members who have voted in the past for your board of directors, this will look very familiar. You will log in using your member information. Once you access the site, you will see the login credentials there. Just follow the instructions, very simple. And again, it'll mirror what you've used in the past to vote for your board of directors. In-branch voting during normal business hours is also available. A voting station will be available there. And as I indicated, we have voting software that you can vote from the leisure of your home, using any electronic device. Voting will open up to this evening at 7 p.m. and we will close at 3 p.m. Newfoundland Daylight Time on June 18th. And as already identified, we will notify, our membership at the close of business on the 18th. For more information on the voting process, the business case, anything you need to know, visit www.bettervalueforall.ca. Everything is outlined on that site, as well as there will be a easy access to voting link that will be included on our website this evening.
Thank you, Corey. This concludes the business of the special meeting. As such, I will now put forward the request to adjourn the special meeting of Leading Edge Credit Union. Can I have a mover, please?
Edwina Bateman moved.
Thank you, Edwina. Thank you once again all to the attendance for your attendance tonight, and have a wonderful evening. I adjourn the meeting.